Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Monday morning trading session. I trust everyone had a nice, relaxing holiday weekend. Mine was very nice, thank you. Very quiet, which was a nice change. Spent a lot of time riding the sofa last weekend. All right, so for those of you, excuse me, new to the trading room this morning, welcome. Please feel free to ask questions. Don't be shy. The charts you're looking at here the charts you're looking at here are for the NASDAQ. I'm also following crude oil and the euro dollar on my other monitor, but don't be shy about asking for another market. If there is something you would like me to see. Yes, Aspen is asking, Eric, are the Raptor videos coming soon? Yes, they are. As you know, I haven't been well. My voice is finally getting back to normal. So, yes, I'll be looking at doing those videos ASAP. What time is it? Okay, we're only a couple minutes into the session here. We're getting a cloud crossover signal. The cloud crossover signal is the #1 signal here on the Raptor, and it prints when our clouds cross over. And it's essentially the first signal that prints once that cloud crossover is complete. It does tend to be a pretty high probability signal. The only downside here is that it's relatively early in the session, only a few minutes into the day. And I've got to run a relatively deep stop in order to make this trade work, at least to start. Come on, get up there. Just making a few notes here in my journal. Okay, and getting a little timid on the trade here, but it looks like it should work out. We're getting a little bit of traction. The trade essentially at break even now. Oh, come on. Oh well, at least it was a profitable trade. And it may turn out that I was a little bit too quick with my stop there. Okay, just a couple notes in my journal here. it's always tricky. You know, the first few minutes of trading. And it looks like I did get stopped out a little bit too soon there. We might have drifted high enough to find that profit objective. So let's take a look here. You can see Friday's session, or pardon me, Thursday's session, very bearish. The market finishing down here around 53.50. And we opened this morning around, well, around 53.70. So there is a little bit of a opening gap below the market. So it's looking like we might have made our profit objective, but just barely. Things starting to unwind a little bit now. Just kind of watching and waiting. Here on the Hawk, right out of the open, we had our macro pullback signal slash 4-arrow consolidation. Not a bad looking 4-arrow consolidation. It did have that characteristic bull flag shape to it, which is what we like to see. And then we got a little bit of a rally out of that. Coming back with another macro pullback. Typically, we only see 2 macro pullbacks within a trend. Let's see here what's going on with the rest of the markets. The euro starting to maybe look a little top heavy. Just a moment, I'll grab a euro chart as soon as. Here we go. Here is the euro now on the Raptor. We also had a nice number 1 signal here during the overnight session. Oh, I thought maybe we were going to see this turn around, but we are getting a soft edge bounce, a little bit of a bounce out of the cloud. Put that away for the moment. Still not clear which way the market is intending to go today. The hawk now getting ready to signal a red bar buy, but we haven't seen a test of the extreme yet, so I'm a little reluctant to get too crazy on the short side just yet. Besides, we're about 15 minutes into the session, and this does tend to be the time where we'll often see the market give us a false signal. Well, I did not expect a full retrace to the hard edge, both here in the Eagle and the Raptor of our trading band. But now that we're here, we may well see a hard edge bounce. And a number 3 signal. We also have the red bar buy now in the hawk. I'm not sure I want to go in for the full amount here. Oops, hey, come back. No, that's going to be too far. No, and that's too far. All right, I'll let this one go by. The nice thing about the red bar buy signal is it is counter trend, of course, so you could also look to short it. The only good thing about a counter trend signal is it's very plain where you need to cover the trade at. I better get back to the Raptor in case we're producing a hard edge bounce signal. We're a little conflicted, as you can see. We did produce a buy signal here on the hawk. We're working a possible trend change signal on the Falcon. We may be producing our first in sync signal with the Eagle, which would be bullish. And the Raptor relatively neutral at the moment. very, very neutral sideways market. I'm not liking all these yellow bars coming in here on the hawk. We're getting a few yellow bars here printing on the falcon. The yellow bars, of course, very neutral by definition. Well, trade forecasters saying we're supposed to be in swing mode for almost a half an hour here, after which we're moving into scalp mode. Could be a pretty choppy day overall. I suppose if you were inclined, you could use an OCO order and bracket this little sideways range that we have going on. You could use your OCO function. You could buy a breakout above. You could sell a breakout below. That's definitely an option. As you know, though, I'm not a really big fan of breakout orders simply because, well, most breakouts tend to fail. What I much prefer is to see a breakout, let the market show me that it can stay out, and then look for your buying or selling opportunity. This is a safer, and I'm using air quotes, safer way to trade a breakout. Of course, that's not to say we won't or can't see a big breakout. It's just that, like I said, once a market breaks and confirms the breakout, it tends to be a little bit more predictable. I really don't know this morning. We've been going sideways for well, a good 10 minutes anyways. So we're just sitting above that opening gap that I mentioned earlier. Gaps are funny because the market will try to fill the gap, but not necessarily on the same day the gap was made. Okay, so we're now getting a first micro macro cross lower The Falcon has produced a trend change signal. My reluctance has to do with the fact we haven't seen a test to the extreme yet. We have not seen a proper, or what I would consider a proper retest of the highs. And therefore, I'm wondering what happened to the buyers. All right, it looks like we're getting some buying here now. And we'll do it like so. Okay, so there's our number 3 signal now. Right near the top of the hour. And actually buying within a couple of ticks of where we bought earlier this morning. All right, come on, let's go. This 53, 74, 75 area looking like a little bit of an obstacle. If we can get above there, I think we'll be all right. All right, I'm going to bring my stop up a little bit below this last swing low. Come on, buyers. Where'd you go? give them a little nudge here with the mouse. There we go. Come on, get up there. Let's push them a little higher. Wow, what a neutral bar. Are we waiting on a report or something here in a moment? It's almost looking that way. Good time to check the reports calendar. No, not really. Doesn't look like we have any big news this week. Oh, sorry. Toward the end of the week. The Philly Fed Index, which is kind of a report that kind of gauges the strength of the economy. But that's still too far off to influence us very much today. Come on, get up there. Excuse me. As you can tell, I still have a little bit of my cough left over. So this now has the danger of becoming a test of the high here and a possible failure. Come on, just give me one more bar. One more bar in our direction. So I can get a little bit more aggressive with my stops. Come on, there you go. You can do it. So you see this bar that's forming right now, the one that's got the tail on it. The better stop placement is still this one down here. However, I admit I'm getting a little bit anxious because the market just does not seem to be following through on the signals. So if we can see this bar finish, there we go. Oh, I was going to say I'm going to roll my stop up, but I'm going to force it to break even now. There we go. And again, this might prove to be a little bit too aggressive. Well, if we get above this resistance zone, the next one, 53.87 3/4, essentially 53.88, does seem like a plausible target. That'll get us back near Thursday's highs. The way the market is behaving today, though, we are going to earn it. We got to get above the 53.80 mark, or to the 53.80 mark. Come on, there you go. You can do it. So if you wanted, you could certainly extend the profit objective here. It looks like we are going to find our profit target, and of course we just did. So hooray for us. Next stop, 53.87.88. I'm not going to be greedy. I'm content with my profit. It was hard earned, it seems. Took us a while to get there anyway. I'm surprised we didn't get a first micro-macro cross here on the hawk. The signal did print, however, the yellow bars spoiled it, which was a bit of a shame. You did have the green bar sell earlier that you could have taken the counter trend signal on, so you did have an opportunity to get long on the hawk as well as the raptor. Oh, and here is our first in sync signal on the eagle, and it looks like we're a little more than halfway to our profit objective there. Hey, way to go, Tony. Tony grabbed that first in sync signal. He says he took it for 20 ticks. Nicely done. Yeah, you see, I think this is part of the problem here is that Trade Forecaster says the swing mode is just winding down. We're getting into scalp mode. So it does seem like we could be in for a little bit of sideways, choppy type trading. Buyers do seem to be in control of the market this morning, though. For the moment, anyway. Excuse me. So now that we've broken the whole 5380 area, looks like we are getting a little bit of selling going on. There's a little bit of selling pressure here. Geiger counter showing a little bit more activity to the short side. It's far too early to say a top is in, though. This is definitely looking like a bullish or more bullish market today. Well, it looks like I should have held on to that trade a little bit longer. We got a nice little break, and now we are up at the next resistance line, 53.87 3/4. We did get a first micro macro cross signal print here on the hawk as well, but it just kind of unfolded a little bit too quickly. Okay, so we're just kind of on hold here. The euro also made a nice run up this morning. We were looking at it earlier. This was the signal that printed, kind of a continuation of the number one signal. Didn't really get close enough to qualify as a hard edge bounce, which in a way is a little unfortunate. Crude oil still content to chop sideways. I may have to swap crude oil out for another market. It's just not doing anything. I miss the good old days in crude oil, where the market would move so fast your heart would stop. Until your brain caught up. Did that move go my way or against me? Wow, we're really seeing some follow through here this morning. I guess, well, in hindsight, I should have tried to take a multi-position on this buy so that I could have left a runner in play, but oh well. Yeah, like Tony says about crude oil, I miss them now, but I had plenty of heartburn back then. Ain't that the truth? Yeah, we'd all be going around, why am I trading crude oil? like I say, we're just a little bit on hold here now. We did get a profitable trade. Well, two actually. The first one I got out a little bit too early, but we did pick up enough to cover commissions and fees. Second one, a little bit better. Turned out to be more profitable. But in hindsight, I should have really held out for the bigger target. Oh well. Things still looking like a buyer's market, but a top or a temporary top always possible. Problem when the market runs like this. Here, for instance, on the Falcon, we're just starting to produce our trend change signal to the upside. And if this produces a trend change signal, and I'm just forecasting here now, is it a valid signal? Definitely. The problem is, where am I going to cover the trade? Ideally, I need to cover the trade way down there. And as you can see, that's kind of out of reach for me. You could attempt to place a tighter stop, of course. Maybe something right there. The problem, of course, is that you may be within range of the sellers. If there's a little profit taking going on, the market's likely to retreat, and you may get tagged out before the next rally up. So the alternative is just to wait, it out until you can get a more favorable setup. It's far from ideal, I know. But such is trading. We'll see if we produce a number 2 counter trend signal on the Raptor. I might give it a go, but we do have to see a proper test of the extreme here, even if it is just a quick one. Patience is key in trading. Tony writes here, even Top Step gives you 10 days a month to sit on your hands. There's 20 trading days in a month, folks. There's a quote that I put on my nightly market update for the members of the supportandresistance.com site from Jesse Livermore. He's quoted with saying, I'd rather be out of a trade wishing I was in than in a trade wishing I was out. Nope, sorry, that's my anonymous quote. His quote is, the money is made in the sitting and the waiting, not in the trading. And that is a hard lesson to learn. Come on, give me a chance here. as I've told you before too, your job as a trader is to take what the market is giving. Sometimes the market will be in a very giving mood, other times it will not, and you certainly cannot make the market do anything. Okay, so we're getting a macro pullback signal here. We've drifted below the trend line here in the Falcon. Starting to look a little bit like maybe a retest and a failure. We've been trending upwards almost since the open. We're about an hour into the session, which is also a time where we tend to see a reversal against the morning trend, if there has been one. Or are they just going to slip down here again and not give me a chance at that reversal? Come on. Here comes that macro pullback signal. So I do anticipate a little bit of a run up here because of it. So here's the macro pullback. You can see we do have enough room here before we get to the highs that we can actually get in and out with a profit. All right, come on. Here comes our retest. And so much for the pullback. Well, we had the right idea, but the market didn't quite cooperate. We're getting that pullback now to the hard edge. And yeah, still waiting on that test of the extreme to make it easy to sell or easier to sell. Possible first micro macro cross lower. Again, I don't want to get too crazy about shorting here because we are back into the hard edge. And as you know, whenever we encounter the hard edge, we usually anticipate some sort of reaction. Well, we're still kind of sideways here. Okay, and we do have a first micro macro cross lower here on the hawk. The hawk, of course, being the scalper, is inclined to be a little bit faster maybe than some of the other tools. You do need to cover this trade relatively high, though, because, of course, well, we're in an uptrend, and we haven't seen a test of the extreme. In fact, I would much rather see a rally, I think. But not if they bring me in short first. And you can see we've drifted back here to this whole 53.75 area, 74.75. That was fairly influential this morning. Well, are they going to try it? So we're either going to see a breakdown here and a follow through on this first micro macro cross, or we're going to come back with a hard edge bounce. And it's so even right now, I really couldn't tell you which way the market's going to go from here. Right now, we do have the complete first micro macro cross signal, so I suppose I need to give the advantage to the sellers. But it's slight. All right, well, this is starting to drift higher, so I'm going to cancel that order for now. Wow, just a funny kind of sideways day today. Christian asked, Eric, I've got a question about the Trade Manager. When I used the sell button in Trade Manager, the order was filled with the right trailing stop, quantity, and break even, but the target was not set on the chart. I have targets at 20 ticks. Any idea what I must change the settings in Trade Manager? All right, well, here's the deal, Christian. When you're using the buy and sell market buttons, the Trade Manager cannot set a profit target for you while you are in risk mode. If you change over to manual mode, now I'm not sure if they've changed this here. Hold on a second. Yes. So if you go into manual mode, you'll find that it will give you a profit target. But so long as you're in risk mode, your stop loss, of course, is going to determine your position size. And Trade Manager can't make that calculation, even though you may have, you know, an ATR or chandelier stop or whatever enabled. But if you switch over to your manual mode, it will print your profit target. Or pardon me, yes, sorry, your profit objectives. Well, here we are. Stuck. Really, really stuck. I anticipate a rally here because if you're scratching your head saying, why is Eric anticipating a rally? Well, first off, we've been in an uptrend all morning. Secondly, before there can be a reversal, I need to see a test to the extreme. I've gotten the hard edge bounce, but now we're running away without producing a signal, which is a little annoying. The hawk, of course, still bearish. The falcon, also bearish. It's only the eagle and the raptor right now that are looking a little bit more bullish. Oh well, not huge gains today, but gains nonetheless. So until I get that test to the extreme, it's going to be hard for me to sell. So the test of the extreme is going to look something like this, where the market's going to make a run at the highs. Right now, the highs are the extreme. And then they're going to fail. Once we see this, that the market has made a run up and reversed, it's going to be a lot easier to try to short the market. Essentially what we're looking for is we're looking for a sign that the buyers have given up. And right now, we don't have that sign. Not yet, anyway. Although, truth be told, they're not looking nearly as strong as they were even a half an hour ago. Yeah, more conflicting signals. Macro pullback now on the hawk. It is saleable, but once more, you're probably going to ride out a bit of a pullback here. So unless you're prepared to walk away from 200 and change, you may want to try to hold out for a better entry. Like I said, once we have that test of the extreme and the subsequent failure, it will be easier to short. Not quite as easy to short right now. And the hawk now into yellow bars, so that spoils that macro pullback signal. And I can't believe the Raptor not giving me a hard edge bounce signal. It's probably going to print one up here. That's going to be a little bit too high for me. It's going to be a little bit too close to the highs. So let's say we get another couple bars up, and then I print a number 3 signal right here, a buy signal. Is it a valid buy signal? Absolutely it is. The problem is I start to run into some logistical problems, namely my high is right here. I suppose I could take just like a scalping profit. I could take a $50, $60 profit, get out of there. But it's much easier to take this type of trade when the signal produces back here. This was the deal with our signal down here, our hard edge bounce, when it printed. We had ample room for the market to realize some sort of profit, even if, let's say, the market turned right here. We still had lots of room. I could have brought the stops in at least to break even, or even a little tighter if I chose. We could do something with it. But if the signal prints late, and I'm halfway expecting a reversal anyway, if my signal doesn't print until up here, that doesn't give me a whole lot of room to do anything, does it? Kind of tees me up for a reversal that I can't do too much about. We discussed trading quotas in the room before, but I think that's a real advantage to having a trading quota on the day. And by trading quota, I mean a certain number of trades that you're going to take. Usually less is more. You're usually going to do better trading less often than if you're trading more often. So if you're only looking for 2 or 3 opportunities in a day, and you get this type of scenario where you're printing a signal, say way up here, yes, it's a viable signal, but is it, if you're only looking for 2 or 3 opportunities in a day, is it one of those opportunities? Maybe not. Well, I do believe the market is going to press, and we will see a retest of the highs here this morning. Looks like they're sitting around 53.92-ish. But it's going to be painful. We are in scalp mode for about another 15 minutes, and then we're going to move back into swing mode. So according to Trade Forecaster anyways, it's going to look like a bit of a seesaw kind of day. All right, boys and girls, I think we're going to wrap things up here this morning. Like I said, we are bullish. You can look for a buying opportunity here. I do believe we will see the market make at least one more move higher. But if it stalls at the highs, then I think you should get serious about a reversal. The sellers really haven't done much today, so they're going to show up here sooner or later. Might not see a full-blown reversal, but don't be surprised if they at least push the market back and sideways. All right, gang. We'll talk to you tomorrow then. Bye for now.